everyone, welcome back to another 2v2 battle. This is going to be Chaos versus the Empire and Vampire counts. For my army here, this is slightly higher funds than normal. It's hard to tell now because we're moving, but I'm going to have a front line of Chaos Warriors. Behind them, I have a total of 3 Chaos Warriors with halberds here, here, and here. We have 1 Chosen buried in the middle with my command squad of 2 Exalted Heroes, a Chaos Sorcerer of Death with Spirit Leech and that other spell right there. I can't remember the AoE that drops their leadership, armor, and everything for a short period of time. And then also a group of Aspiring Champions and Sigvald the Magnificent. That's kind of my command squad altogether. It's very expensive, but I like having command squads sometimes. We also have 2 Chaos Warriors with great weapons in the back as well. So that's a lot of Chaos Warriors. Up here we have 3 Chaos Marauder Horse Masters, just kind of waiting off in the forest just to spring on whoever I want them to spring upon. And then my ally over here has 3 of the Hell Cannons. They are being led by Archeon the Ever-Chosen. And then speaking of Chosen, we have 4 Chosen right here. And then we also have more Chosen, I believe, in the forest. Yes, these are 2 Chosen with great weapons right here. So my ally went very elite build here, which is why I went mostly Chaos Warriors to try and supplement them with additional numbers. And they also have a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Death here. I always call them Sorcerer Lords. Chaos Sorcerer of Death. For the enemy, we have a lot of Hex Wraiths over here from the Vampire counts, and then the rest of their army are going to be made up of Cairn Wraiths, kind of mixed in with the Imperial army here, and they are being led by Vlad von Karstein. For the Empire player, they have Karl Franz on a horse, I believe. Yes, on a horse. And we also have the Amber Wizard flying up above on a Pegasus. They have brought a Steam Tank, 2 Great Swords, a Handgunner, 2 Crossbows, and a couple Spearmen. I feel like something's missing. Oh, yeah. And then 2 Demigryph Knights with halberds way over here that are going to be coming out of the forest pretty soon. You can see they spent a lot of money in upgrading these Demigryph Knights, and I am going to be sicking my Marauders on them whenever I see them come out of the forest. But for right now, I am moving my army in front of these Hell Cannons and the Chosen because, again, this is a team game, and there doesn't really make any sense for me to leave this formation. We have 3 Hell Cannons. They've been upgraded, so I am going to support them by making a very hard wall between the enemy and them. And the only artillery the enemy has is a single steam tank. So we kind of win the artillery fight, and you can see our ally has already dealt a lot of damage to a spearman and was dealing damage to this Cairn Wraith as well, which is pretty brutal for them. Now over here, the Demigryph Knights with halberds are going to be coming out of the forest, and I immediately sick my Chaos Marauder Horse Masters on them. My Horse Masters have a speed of 90. The Demigryph Knights have a speed of 76. So we are faster. So we can skirmish them all day and all night. So this is totally okay with me. I'm going to try and get them away from the forest. They're going to turn away, so I'm going to have to engage here. So we're going to start throwing our javelins. And this skirmish is just going to be happening for a while. They're going to come and chase us, then they're going to retreat, then they're going to chase us, then they're going to retreat. And eventually the Vampire count is also going to be sending these 2 Cairn Wraiths all across the field to try and support a fight against my Horse Masters. And you can see, here they come trying to charge me. They can't catch me, so they're going to retreat. And we're already dealing kind of a significant amount of damage to very, very expensive Demigryph Knights with halberds who have been upgraded. This is part of the reason why I took Horse Masters, because I wasn't going to bring any Chaos Cav, so I needed these guys to try and harass the enemy's Cav, because these guys are going to be faster than like any Cav that the enemy was going to bring. Unless Hex Wraiths are that fast. Honestly, I don't know, because I don't use Hex Wraiths that much. How fast are you? 84. They could probably catch Horse Masters on the charge, specifically, because they do get a speed buff on the charge. You can see they are trying to hit us in the backs, but we are just too fast for the Demigryph Knights with halberds. And we're just continually throwing our javelins and causing so much damage. This is why the Horse Masters are kind of really good. Now here, eventually, I guess their speed buff from the charge animation does kind of catch up to the Horse Masters. Kinda. So that's when I split up my forces in 3 different directions. But then they are going to pull back once again. So we're going to come back once again and start skirmishing once more. Now you can see they're chasing me off once again. But we still have 2 other Horse Masters over here that are going to be throwing in javelins along with this group. Oh, I see what it is. We're tired right now because we're also throwing javelins. That's probably why they're catching us, because our movement speed is actually being slowed due to our winded status. That's probably how they caught us. So now we're going to retreat into the woods. The Demigryph Knights are going to retreat closer to their actual main army, so I'm not going to really be able to safely skirmish them anymore. So I'm going to withdraw my troops back to the main army. Speaking of the main army, there is a Manticore that has been summoned by the Amber Wizard, who's going to be coming down on this Hell Cannon. This Hell Cannon has just been taken out, or has been taken out by the enemy steam tank. I'm going to get our command squad over here on the Manticore, so that's the Aspiring Champions, the Chosen with great weapons, the 2 Exalted Heroes, the Chaos Death Sorcerer, and then Sigvald. So when I reference command squad, it's all of these units together. The Chosen are basically like an elite bodyguard along with the Aspiring Champions. You don't need to do this, but I just like to do it because I think it's cool that Sigvald would roll with a bunch of like the most elite of elites. So anyway, in case they try to do any kind of more shenanigans against the Hell Cannons, I'm going to post a Chaos Warrior with Halberd right here. The Vampire count is going to get a little ahead of their Imperial ally, and they're going to charge into our formation with the Hex Wraiths, who are coming in on the right side against these Chosen. And then the Banshee and these Karen Wraiths are going to be coming up the middle. You can see the Amber Wizard drop the spell right there, but we are going to walk out of it. I'm going to start casting Spirit Leech on this Banshee from our Chaos Sorcerer of Death. And it's dealt a significant amount of damage to her, and I'm going to be bringing my command squad over here because the Aspiring Champions do have magical damage. So they are the only things in my army that can really efficiently deal with all of the Wraiths that we're currently fighting against. So I'm going to bring the entire command squad over here to try and deal with all these Wraiths and the Banshees. Meanwhile, we're just going to get charged down the line here with more Karen Wraiths. We're going to get a charge over here, I think, at the last moment. And I'm not really going to overreact to the Wraiths coming in, so I'm just going to kind of hold formation and just wait and plug my troops in where they're needed. There's no real need to, like, everyone pounce on a single Karen Wraith unit. There's really no need. It's just a bigger target for, like, the Steam Tank or for the Amber Wizard's Flock of Doom. So here we go. Our command squad with Sigvald, the Exalted Heroes, all that goodness is going to be coming in here with the Aspiring Champions coming up behind. And again, they're the ones with the magical damage here. So they're going to get into these Hex Wraiths, and we're just going to start cleaving them in two. There's a second Spirit Leech being dropped on the Banshee, and I believe that's going to signal her death, or at least close to it. The Empire player is still kind of holding ground a little bit. They are slowly advancing onto this line of trees right here. But again, the Vampire account player kind of jumped the gun a little bit. Probably because they didn't want to get shot by the Hell Cannons anymore, and I can totally understand that. But you can see 2 of the Hell Cannons have been brought low by the help of that Manticore, and then, of course, the Steam Tank that's been firing on them. But besides that, these Hell Cannons have dealt a significant amount of damage, I believe. 64, 88. This one maybe hasn't as much, but the other 2 are still doing a lot of damage. So now with the command squad there, with the Aspiring Champions magical damage, we're just going to cleave through the Hex Wraith group right there. And now we're going to move our attention on to the Karen Wraiths. They are actually terrifying one of our Chaos Warriors. Some zombies are being summoned by Vlad, who is now on the battlefield. More zombies over here that my Chaos Warriors are handling. We have more Karen Wraiths over here that my Chaos Warriors are going to be handling. A group of Grey Swords is going to be coming out of the forest behind these Karen Wraiths. Oh, they're way back here. So they're going to be coming out of this forest here eventually. Meanwhile, on the right flank, my allies Chosen have just been tanking these poor Hex Wraiths, who have not really had much of a chance against just the insane amount of Chosen that they are fighting against. Hex Wraiths are armor piercing, but this is a lot of Chosen, and it's hard to deal with. Meanwhile, my Marauder Horsemasters, I made a pass at these 2 crossbows that were posted up in this forest along with Karl Franz and their spearmen, because I wanted to try and shut them down, but they are going to kind of push me away. So I'm going to move a Horsemaster over here, and I believe my other Horsemasters are over here. There they are. They're going to get caught by this Karen Wraith, so I'm going to have to withdraw them back, I think, behind my army. So again, the only combat we're really facing over here is going to be against Vlad von Karstein, his zombie horde, and the Karen Wraiths that remain. And I have my Exalted Heroes and Sigvald on Vlad von Karstein, along with our Chaos Sorcerer, who has been Spirit Leeching him, I believe, twice by this point. Or is about to be twice. And you can see he's currently at half health, but he will be regenerating, I think, up to his maximum regeneration in this battle. So he is still going to be in this fight a long time, even though we have so much death swinging at him. He's Vlad von Karstein, and he will not be stopped. So he's going to be continually summoning more zombies as fodder. I'm going to send some more Chaos Warriors over there to deal with that. And again, I'm just kind of holding position around, not really needing to commit fully. I think I will put these Halberds or maybe these Chaos Warriors into these Karen Wraiths eventually as I withdraw the Horsemasters. And now we're just dealing with 2 Karen Wraiths over here. The Grey Swords is still going to be coming through the forest pretty slowly. Meanwhile, over here, the Horsemasters were dealing, or trying to help deal with the Hex Wraiths right there. And now the Horsemasters are going to gather, I believe, right here. And we're eventually going to make a push for the line of Empire troops that are currently holding in the forest again. Here come the Demigryph Knights out of the forest, and they're going to be charging into my allies Chosen. trying to back up their unit of greatswords. But you can see they're already basically at half health because of all the damage that my horse masters dealt to them with the javelins. Still very scary though, but they are fighting against Chosen, which is no small feat. A whole horde of them. I'm going to be throwing in some Chaos Warriors with halberds into the mix to try and assist against the Demigryph Knights. I believe I initially am going to send these Marauders to try and throw javelins into them, but then we're going to change targets when I notice that the handgunners are currently firing into my Chaos Warriors. You can see we now finally brought down Vlad Karstein with our leader squad there, command squad. And now we're going to charge these groups of handgunners with the Horsemasters, and then I'm going to peel another Horsemaster off to try and deal with the crossbows a little bit later. Steam Tank is now almost out of ammunition, but it has silenced all 3 Hell Cannons at this point, which is a great target for the Steam Tank to have. And the Demigryph Knights and the Greatswords are slowly losing this battle because now we have Chaos Warriors, we have just hordes of Chosen in here, and it is just too much for a single unit of Greatswords and these Demigryph Knights to handle, so they're going to be trying to pull out. You can see we have caught a little bit of them here. We're going to be just slicing them up. There goes my Horsemasters onto the crossbows. We're silencing the handgunners at this point. And I believe the Demigryph Knights are going to be pulled out of this combat, and they're going to go after my Horsemasters, and probably a good choice there. Meanwhile, my command squad here is going to be going into the forest and trying to single out Karl Franz. We're going to be popping all of our buffs here soon when the entire squad gets there. I'm going to be casting more Spirit Leeches on Karl Franz. I've casted like 4 or 5 Spirit Leeches in this battle, and I still have, I think I have like 16 Winds of Magic at this point still. It's a very cheap spell, and if it's like the only one you use, you get many uses out of it as long as your sorcerer remains alive. So here comes the remaining of my Chaos Army into the forest to try and silence the Imperial crossbows and Karl Franz. Meanwhile, over here, those Greatswords finally came out of the forest, so we're going to engage them with the Chaos Warriors. I'm going to engage them with these Chaos Warriors with great weapons. And my Chosen I did leave behind, so I'm going to actually have them come over here and deal with the Greatswords as well. They have been separated from the command squad. But you can see the Force of Chaos just marching into the forest, and Karl Franz, I believe, is already dead. Yeah, that was just a lot of damage for him to take with 2 Exalted Heroes and the Prince Sigvald and the Spirit Leeches. Meanwhile, back here, my Horsemasters are slowly being destroyed by those Demigryph Knights. But you can see we have routed most of the Imperial forces at this point, and the Hex Wraiths and Vlad's army, I think, are all dead at this point as well. So all they have left is going to be this Steam Tank who is out of ammunition, and these Greatswords are about to crumble and rout from the sheer amount of losses on their side and the fact that, you know, they're staring down Chosen with great weapons. Greatswords are pretty good. They have been, you know, nerfs over the months, but even at their best, I don't think they can stand up to Chosen with great weapons. So they go there, going to be routing and just slowly dying to the Chosen there. And now all that's left is the Steam Tank, who my ally has sent their Hell Cannon Chaos Dwarves against, and now we're going to try and surround it. And I'll just fast forward at this point. So good game to my opponents and to my ally. Good call with the 3 Hell Cannons there. They did get silenced, but they dealt a heavy blow, and I think they're the reason that the Vampire count just wasn't going to wait any longer, and they kind of threw their Wraiths and their Hex Wraiths and Karen Wraiths into the battle. Now, if they had waited, and if they kind of intermixed with the Greatswords and Spears, they may have still lost, I'm not sure, but they definitely would have had a better shot than just being kind of thrown in against the Forces of Chaos first. And then again, the Empire player kind of stood back here in the forest, and we kind of were able to just take out the Vampire accounts and then focus on the Empire player separately. So, you know, in these 2v2s, you got to work as a team. My initial, play style is I rush down, especially with the Chaos Army, I rush, you know. But since I was teamed up with a player who took 3 Hell Cannons, I was like, well, you know, I could rush on my own and leave these Hell Cannons kind of out in the wind, and they probably would have been flanked by the Demigryph Knights and destroyed pretty quickly if I had not thrown my Horsemasters after them. But again, it's a team game, so focus on your team strength. Our team strength was we have 3 Hell Cannons, so I posted up in front of there, I protected them from the Karen race, made sure the Demigryph Knights didn't get close, and they did a lot of damage before they were shut down, and eventually we won the day. So teamwork. It's important. Let's take a look at the kill count. Command Squad in general did pretty well, I'd say. These Chosen with great weapons netting 166 kills, most of those against zombies. Some maybe against Hex Race and a couple Great Swords there, but mostly against zombies. These guys killed Vlad von Karstein and Karl Franz. The Chaos Sorcerer of Death did so much work in killing the Banshee and just casting multiple Spirit Leeches the entire game. And they stack up, like, they do damage. I don't see the spell taken that often, but if the Chaos Sorcerer is not killed early in the battle and is allowed to spend all of their Winds of Magic on that spell specifically to target out, enemy heroes, it will work. So they did a lot of work in this game, and the Chaos line did really well. Really, my army did exceptionally well because they only had to fight small pockets of Karen Race here and there, so they weren't ever really overwhelmed. For Wet Towel, I'm assuming is the name, or Wee Towel. Great Swords did okay. The crossbows got a couple kills. The Steam Tank did excellent in shutting down the Hell Cannons and netting 80 kills as well. Demigryph Knights, they did eventually rout some of my Horse Masters. They dealt some damage to Chosen, but they were in a bad situation in the beginning. The Horse Masters are faster, and they just dealt a lot of damage to them. But anyway, good game to Imperator Red Foxy, Wet Towel, and then the Drunk Bacon God. So let's watch a cinematic view of Prince Sigvald's and Archaon's Chaos versus Karl Franz and Vlad von Karstein. These are such good units. I can't praise them enough. Horse Masters are really good. But I will talk shit about just normal horsemen all day long. Marauder horsemen. I still don't know why they say it that way. Why do they ever... It's such a terrible way to say that. This dude has like a javelin in his face. These poor chicken birds or cat chickens, whatever the hell they are. So much damage dealt to those poor creatures. Oh, Archaon threw out a fireball on this guy. I think I maybe Spirit Leech the Manticore. Or maybe not. Oh, it's dead. Okay, I was like, wait a minute, why isn't anyone attacking? Oh man, I missed this too. I didn't know Archaon cast a fire pillar. And a bombardment spell. Holy shit. I missed all this in the actual fight. That was a very accurate spell. Oh, then they charged in. Oh, Archaon may have died in this forest. He may die in there. We'll see. I think he actually does. Something that really didn't help these Hex Wraiths though is that they weren't cycle charged. And if you're going to spend so much money on Hex Wraiths, I would bring Van Heel's Dance Macabre, the attack buff spell, because damn. That spell with a lot of Hex Wraiths, they will actually start doing some damage. They have really good armor piercing, and obviously they're very good defensively just because they absorb so much damage due to their Wraith trait of physical resistance, but they need help in the attack department. And with facing Chosen with such high melee defense, they definitely need help with cycle charging and multiple Van Heel's Dance Macabre spells. Here comes Grandpappy Vlad. Yeah, but as soon as we got some magical damage in here, the thing is the Wraiths are very squishy if you can bypass their physical resistance. Archeon holding it down in the middle of the forest against Carl. Take a look at your health points here, buddy. Yeah, I don't think he makes it out of this forest. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna have a good day. Man, it's just all the zombies being summoned there. Really not much else going on. Blood for the Blood God. Wait, what is that? Huh. Okay. I would have cast a Flock of Doom on all those Chosen, but you know, or the Curse of Honor in here. Yeah. They're definitely going to be slowed. Even with all of these units, these heroes, Sigvald, the Chaos Sorcerer, Spirit Leech, Chosen with great weapons, Vlad still managed to regenerate all of the health that he could and lasted for so long. My god, Vlad is such a tanky hero. It is disgusting. Well, I guess we were also distracted by just like the hundreds of zombies that were cast around him. But there we go, he finally falls. But like, this is just begging for a Flock of Doom, and I know that, yeah, they're still alive, but maybe they cast all their Winds of Magic by now. But god, could you imagine like 3 sets of Flocks of Doom on just this horde of Chosen? Oh my god, it'd be so beautiful. And turn. There it is. I think Archeon's corpse is somewhere around here. That's a lot of things to deal with for just a single car of Franz on a horse. And these Spearmen are like, nope. Nope. We out. Oh, I missed the death of Carl. And actually, I wonder if a better command squad would be chosen with halberds. Because, like, the units that would be coming after Sigvald to kill him would most likely be on a large creature, like mounted, or just straight up large creatures, like Shaggoths and shit. So yeah, maybe chosen with halberds next. But they attack so slow. But I guess they do have an attack of long enough so like 2 ranks deep can attack at the same time. Guess that's a trade-off. Look at this badass squad of death. I think right now we're just chasing the steam tank. Bunch of murderers over here.
We need food, thirst, and skulls. Cowards, come and fight.
Jeez. You know the crew in that steam tank are like, what are we gonna do? It would be kind of cool that like if in melee, like it doesn't actually give them a range attack like this, but if in melee, like you would see gunfire from these ports of like the people inside firing off, you know, well, I guess that wouldn't make sense though, to fire off firearms in that kind of enclosed space, because in the smoke that it gives off, I don't know. It's a video game. It's fantasy, you know. Just it would be just kind of cool. See little gun barrels sticking out and they're just firing. But again, it's not an actual range attack. It's just like this animation for when the tank's in melee. That'd be just kind of neat. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed Chaos versus the Vlad and Karl Franz alliance, and I will see you all next time. Take care.